What's up? My friend Val's on his way over, and I'm gonna clean up a little bit before he gets here. He'll be here like now. He just got here actually, so that's perfect. Yeah, he's a longtime friend of mine. Having issues with his front derailleur, so he doesn't live too far away. I told him to come over. I'd help him real quick. It's not too hard. Adjusting the front derailleur, basic tools. Phillips, probably a 5 or a 4. Allen, and that's basically it. It's pretty easy to adjust the front derailleur. I'll kind of walk you through it as best I can right here. We'll see. This might be a bit delayed because Val's is coming in. So, if you have any questions about basic adjustments of a front derailleur, let me know. And if you can't figure it out, then stop by Cycler Bike Shop, and I'll be there. There are most days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday, Sunday. Come on in and I'll help you out. What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
Hope you're not shy about being live.
Hell no.
Cool.
How's everything going?
Going well.
It's good.
Yeah, man. Good to see you riding again.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while.
Well, I just got the new rubber on, so.
GP 4000s, I hope?
Yeah,
Yep.
That's what you
good.
told me.
That's what you should have.
Only recommending the good shit, right?
Only the shit that works, brother. A lot of good shit out there. What's going on?
So, man.
If you need to fall asleep, man, there's like a spot over here.
Dude, everyone gives a shit for that.
Of course!
You're the dude that falls asleep.
You're the dude that falls asleep, right? Yeah, that's everybody else over here. Hey, what's going on? I see like all of 0 people right now, but don't worry, I'll share it later anyway. Super easy to adjust this. So
Yeah, I think what it is, I'm not sure if it's a limitation of my chippy shifters or not. But it seems like I got a double shift every time on the front derailleur.
So when you're trying to go up, it won't go up?
But you see, what the hell are you doing now?
So that's at the most maximum. So let's see if I go all the way down. Let's do this way. Embarrassing, you know?
What?
It's working just fine.
I know. Well,
You know what, though? I'll tell you what though, this is like really good for everyone to see. Bikes are afraid of mechanics, so they always act right in front of a mechanic. It's totally normal. Okay, so let's see.
You know what it is? So you shift it down, and then I click up once. Click down once. See how to do it twice there?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Okay, so that's actually a good thing. So let me show you what that means. So right now, like I'm right here, right? I'm big, and you're still having some rub, so there's still something I can adjust here, right?
Yeah.
But as I'm shifting to a lower gear, to our climbing gear, well, you don't even need it actually. But you hear that little noise?
Yeah.
So your half shift with that first click,
Yeah.
that moves the front derailleur ever so slightly, so that when you are and you shouldn't be crossing it, you are. It gives you just a little bit more room.
Oh, okay.
So
So then that's normal then. It's not
The
just,
half shift is intentional, yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
designed to give you more room when you're crossing on this side. You're crossing your chain.
Well, I should never be crossing anyways,
You
right?
shouldn't be crossing your chain anyways, true.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, sometimes like with certain bikes, because all the geometries, obviously Shimano makes it for every single bike out there, right? So sometimes some geometries are a little bit tighter than others.
Yeah.
And on some of them, after like the first 3,
Yeah.
like it starts almost wanting to rub,
Right.
right? Because it's so tight, so close. And on those, you do need it. On this bike, you know, you really don't need it. Just seeing what you got going on, you don't need it in this bike. You have a lot of range, even when you're crossing, like you said you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You still have a lot of range, dude. So you're totally cool in that sense.
Well, on the smaller chainring up front, I could pretty much go up and down on the rear as much as I want, right?
On the smaller in the front?
Yeah.
No, on the smaller in the front, I'd like to see you be like from here to right there maximum. I'm leaving the 2 highest gears out of the picture.
Okay.
That's extreme. But by the time you get to that gear, realistically, like when you're here, instead of shifting to another harder gear,
yeah, just shift
right?
up.
What you do is you go 1 easier and then you go 1 up.
Yeah.
That would be the next gear.
Okay. Oh, cool. Well, then I guess I didn't do too bad adjusting the front.
No, but your brakes are in a really bad place, so I'm glad you're here.
Oh.
So, and this, like, realistically, this is kind of why. What's up, Vic? This is kind of why it's good to bring your bike into a shop or to your mechanic whenever you can. Yeah, I mean, you come in for a specific thing, but just the way we are, just the nature of what we do, we're going to want to look at the bike. And once we look at the bike, I noticed that his brake, ever so slightly, right there. If you see right there, it's just a bit too high. The longer time it has this, it's going to wear itself into the tire, and then that produces a higher chance of a sidewall blowout. So
Cool.
we don't want that. Yeah, sidewall blowouts, not that fun.
Oh yeah. Shit,
Yeah,
I
so we don't
noticed
want that. So I'm going to loosen this up for him real quick. Small adjustment. That's nice on the money. Check the other side. Other side's a bit high too. So I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. That's nice and good. That's right on the meat now, and that's kind of what you want. You want it right in the center track of the brake, which is going to give you the best, most predictable braking. So that's better. And again, like, it's super rad. Like, all of us at the Cycle Your Bike Shop are really good about this. You bring your bike in, and we're going to take a look at your bike. We'll put it on the rack. Just, it's what we do. It's why we do it. You know. So this is good to go now. Front brake. Front brakes are right. Just grabbing the wrong side. Front brake's not bad. Now you're good. Cool. So yeah, shifting seems okay. Go ahead and test ride it under load. So spin it around the block real quick. I won't even. Oh, I'll do it. And then try to shift your front derailleur. You
said it was still rubbing though, or something like that?
It was slightly rubbing, but I'm seeing. That's not, actually, you're right. Let me do that real quick. All that is on the low side.
Yeah.
It's an adjustment to the limit. On the high side, it's more tension needed, or maybe backing off the limit.
Right.
And I won't lie to you, I prefer it that way. I prefer that ever so slight touch.
Yeah.
That's actually what I was taught to do when I was racing. That way, even though it's a slight rubbing on the lowest, so your easiest gear up the hill, a tiny little scratch is better than it throwing off and now you threw your chain off.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, that's actually okay. But that's better.
Yeah.
Just a slight adjustment. Yeah, and Roger Hasper from Newhall Bicycles, dude, you're rad. Reason why I do this in general now, thanks to you. He told me that anytime you're adjusting limits, tiniest of turns makes a big difference. So you always kind of slight back off and slight move forward to make sure it's in. That's good advice.
Dude, I haven't ridden this thing in forever. It's been a few years, I would say.
Yeah. if you were to see on top, the little bit of noise it's making actually is because the ring itself is slightly bent.
Oh, is it?
There's movement on the ring itself.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you look from the top of it, and it's not uncommon.
Yeah.
Like it's not uncommon. See that bow?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's not uncommon, dude. And I'm not gonna mess with that because I'd rather it play with the hair of like a slight rub once in a while than you go too much and now you have a chain thrown off.
Right.
Which we don't want that. So yeah, if it's too lazy for you, then I'll make a quick adjustment right here on the barrel adjuster. But if not, go ahead and try it out. I think it should be good.
What would you upgrade on this bad boy?
Oh, 100% the shifters. Yeah, you have the world's shittiest shifters, brother. So these shifters have the thumb. It's like the impossible thumb shifter. So that means if you're in the drop, there's like no way in hell. Like there's only like aliens can like do that. And oddly enough, I had these bars once. These shifters once. I tilted it down and made it so that like I could stretch and get it if I needed to.
Yeah, that's rather annoying.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Even on the most modern version of, was it Sora?
Yeah.
Yeah, the most modern version of Sora, they got rid of that. They have the double paddle now. Yeah, they have the paddle, and that's way better. That'd be the number one thing. Even if you went with like the exact same thing, like it wouldn't matter. Because obviously, in order to change these, if you want to go really baller nice, you would have to. You would have to change your drivetrain, right? But to not change your drivetrain, you could just change your shifters, and that's still possible on Sora, but not as possible on like Tiagra and 105 because they did change their pull rate. This SIS shifting and the new ones like this something, I forgot the new name, but they did change it. So basically, how much each click changes it is different now.
Okay. So yeah, I have to get the matching derailleur for that.
Yeah, and honestly, you could just change the shifters. And just changing the shifters would be a huge change. I don't even mind the antennas, right? Like that never bothered me. Yeah. It's just that thumb thing. It's gonna make it so that there's gonna be situations where it's just more comfortable not to use it.
Oh yeah, it sucks though.
Yeah. Go ahead, test ride it real quick. Hold on, let me put a light on you.
Safety first.
Always, brother. Always.
What's your daily? That one?
Oh man, there's no daily. All of them are dailies.
Even this purple beast?
Dude, the purple beast is one of my favorites. This is the drop bar mountain bike. So yeah, that one's super rad.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, dude. And it's super fun.
What size frame is that can go?
That's 50. And for sale.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'9", 5'10"-ish.
Do you like small bikes?
Well, that one is a race bike, and honestly, I have short legs. And short arms. Not a good combination. Oh, that one's dead. Oh well. Well, it's kind of safe. Go for it. Be safe.
Go down the block.
Got a few questions. Let's see. All right. I keep hearing some rub from my chain on a front derailleur. It's been checked out. So slight rub's okay. Yeah, slight rub is kind of okay. So normally what happens in a slight rub like he had is his chainring's not perfect. So there's some movement going on that chainring, and then you have your front derailleur here. So you have a little bit of tapping, and that's okay because really not all chainrings are perfectly true. And then to bend it, it's almost just the same thing because you're weakening that metal every time you're moving it, right? So realistically, a slight rub won't ruin anything. Obviously, it's nice to have a nice and quiet bike. And a full tune-up, that is something we check out at the shop. But and we do have tools to kind of move that ever so slightly and gently. But for the most part, if the movement was too dramatic, then you'd either be kind of like stuck with having a little bit of movement or getting yourself a new chainring. And new chainring's not too bad. It's somewhere within the area of like 30, 40 bucks. And you can kind of like get rid of that noise. It's peace of mind. So if it's worth it to you, it's going to be worth it to us. We'll go ahead and like fix that for you or swap that part out for you if we can't get it to be just right. Any other questions, shoot them my way. If you're more of an in-person kind of guy, I'm in La Mirada. Go ahead and come on in. Told you my days. So yeah, like it's super rad. Bring the bike in. I can always take a look. It's hard, obviously, from the perspective of me being on the opposite end. I can't see your bikes. So, and a lot of times people call us. We almost always have the same, unless it's like a really direct question. It's almost always the same answer. We really do like to say, "Hey, bring the bike in. Let me see it." And the big reason for that is like one circumstance may be different than the other. How's the shifting?
Good.
Going up, going down?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, the only thing, like I said, the only thing that I was concerned with was
that half click.
the half click. So I wasn't sure if that was normal or not.
Yeah. So that's not a big deal. It's actually a good thing. It's kind of part of it. Actually, Durex got rid of that half click on 1 year.
Yeah.
And people hated it.
Really?
Yeah, people hated that. It was not like a popular feature to get rid of it. So they brought it back.
You mind taking a look at my bro's bike real quick?
Oh, might as well. Let's keep the questions going.
My bike. Oh, I mean, possibly my bike.
Well, I don't know. I can't be checking out like foreign people's bike. I don't know whose bike it is now. Like, if you guys don't know whose bike it is, I'm not sure if I should be checking it out. Just saying.
Some vintage stuff. And I was gonna say it's not even vintage. It's dirty.
Oh, that's from charging. I gotta check out what's going on here.
Vintage component.
Vintage components. I like vintage.
Same shape shifters though. Derailleur.
Oh wow, look at this thing. What's this for?
Bro.
It's a long bike.
Long?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Oh yeah. Check this out. Come here. Hold this bitch.
How's that compared to mine?
So check this out. From center where the seat post goes, right?
Yeah.
To there. That's a 70. Right? You have like another inch on that. And on yours, you got another 2 inches.
Damn. So why is it longer?
Race bike. Normally race bikes were longer on top tube during the 2000s and 90s. What they did there was they wanted to go as aero as possible, so they stretched you out. Nowadays it's more of a drop than a stretch. Drops are a little bit easier on the back and the arms, but it requires more flexibility. Where this is just like laid down. So let's see here. Same quality shifters.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Good night, my love. You guys dormir? You going to bed? Alright, I love you. I'll tuck you in right now, Papa. Oh. Yeah. That's bent. Oh, no, it's not. That's a biopaste. Yeah, no, that's just crap.
So why are they like that? Why are they all like...
That biopaste was designed with the idea that to minimize the dead spot in your pedaling, right? So obviously when you're pedaling, you can only really get good power from like 1 o'clock to like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
That 12 and 6 is like a dead position. So making that shape made it that during that time it was the least amount of effort to get it over past that little part, right?
Yeah.
So it was a good idea, and it wasn't really backed by the best engineers at the time. From what they understood then, that's what they had, right?
Okay.
Later on, someone like Rotor or Asymmetric, or Osimetric, whatever they are, right? They kind of figured it out a little bit better.
Yeah, this thing's ancient. My dad had kind of thing forever. Yeah, since I got the bike, so I was gonna.
It's a really nice bike.
Yeah.
It's a
Frame is.
No, yeah, the bike itself is really nice. It is, like, even the tires are like really good.
Let's go over the components.
All right, well, Sora's not too impressive, but you got Shimano 600 on there. Shimano 600 is kind of the equivalent or the predecessor to Shimano 105.
Where's 600 at?
You can see it right here.
Oh, on that one.
Yeah. So
It's just the front, right?
yeah, the front and the brakes are. So originally this came with it, but originally this didn't have shifters here.
Yeah.
This had shifters here.
Right.
So he modernized it by putting the shifters up here, but at the cost of having to put, which at the time comparatively was awesome because you went from shifting here to shifting here, so it was a huge plus.
Right.
And actually on this one, I think you could probably reach it. Yeah, it's not too far off. So what do you guys crashing bikes?
Crash them. I think it's the way we have them mounted on the on our space up there.
Oh, that's a crap.
Maybe we should crash it. I don't know. What about this freaking thing here? I don't even know what brand that is.
All right, so it's Profile Design. It's actually an aerodynamic stem. Profile Design is very well known for making like triathlon stuff. The stem itself is not bad, and with this bar, it's also not bad.
What kind of bar is this anyway?
Oh, this is Chanel, I believe. Or Stalatelia? Oh no, this is something different. It's in that same style.
Some crap? What does that say?
Your headset's kind of one guy. I see Sunglung. I'm not sure. You stumped me there. No, it's okay. Yeah, so here what I'm really seeing is I'm seeing a bunch of I'm seeing a good starter bike and a horrible bike to go uphill on.
Why?
Just the gearing back then.
Oh.
The gearing's going to be a 5339, and in the back you're going to have an 1125.
What's on mine?
Or you're going to have like an 1128 or 25, but you're probably going to have, oh, you know what, you might have the same thing. I would think of a compact, but if you don't, it's a compact. Yeah, 34. 34, and that looks like 28. So you got a much easier gear to climb on. So this bike is really good on the flats, but not too much on the hills. But that's how everyone was back then.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the nature of how the bikes were. The guys were doped to the gills, man. So they didn't need pussy gears. Yeah, no, like,
power through it.
Just power through it, man.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, this is getting hard. It's easy. I got this.
What about the wheel set? I got those afterwards because the original wheels my dad had were cracked on the
Yeah. Mavics aren't bad. No. And the CX, what? 1.2s? No. CX 22s? Yeah, not bad. Standard rim, dude. Just standard basic.
rim.
Everything about this is really basic, very standard, and there's no reason why you would change it. What you can do is when you upgrade that one if you upgrade that one, put those on this because ergonomically it's going to be easier. This is going to have that dip, right?
Yeah.
And that one's going to be a little more flat.
Oh.
So that would be the perk.
We'll probably upgrade both, honestly.
Yeah.
I personally don't like these.
No, I agree. No, but this is not a bike to upgrade, to be honest.
Really?
It's just not. I mean, I think you can probably get more from just selling it than because here's the reality. Like, okay, you upgrade that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It still doesn't have a climbing gear. Okay, so then let me see. That's a mid K. So yeah, you could put a longer. You could put a 28 on there. So that's a perk. So then you get a nice, easier gear there, but that's still a pretty big gear. 39. That's huge. You would need like a 30 or a 32 for it to equal what you got on there, and they don't make that for this style.
Yeah.
So this bike would be great for flats, but not great for hills in general.
Yeah.
And does that mean you should avoid them? No, hell no, dude. Ride what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if it's gonna be for you, ride it as much as you can. Have a bunch of fun on it. Go to the beach and back. If you see a hill, do it, man. Struggle.
Why
you know, it's
not?
only
Yeah.
gonna make, why not, dude?
Yeah.
Don't turn away from it. Yeah, and then just keep riding it, dude. And if you're digging it, then buy yourself a modern bike.
Yeah.
Even a $700 bike, dude, will be way better than this. I'm sorry to say. to this guy.
Yeah.
This might be lighter, but just what they've been able to do with the geometry of bikes and how they react to you nowadays, even if it's aluminum instead of carbon.
Yeah. These are like around that price range, right?
Yeah, that's about that right. That price.
Yeah. 800 I think.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna get a sick ass Cat Optimo for like $700-800.
Cat Optimo?
Yeah. A Cat Optimos, they're kind of it's a new one. So before they always had the Cat 10, which was famous, and then Cat 12 came out one step above it, and then they had their carbon line with the Evo and stuff, and now they even have like an aero bike, which is the System 6. But they actually came out a couple years ago with one that's a little bit more entry level. It's like an entry level all arounder, and the Optimo is kind of cool in the sense that it fits like a little more upright, a little more close than maybe a race bike.
Kind of like this.
Kind of like that, except that one's more comfort based. The coast to coast is what that's about.
Yeah.
That's coast to coast comfort, right? The rear stays right here. This is called a stay, right?
Yeah.
The rear stays are tighter, which makes the bike feel like a good zip.
Okay.
But it's a little bit higher in the front, so you're not as far down. So for someone starting out, it's a really sick geometry.
Yeah.
It's a geometry that lends itself to like getting better, being comfortable,
Getting used to that.
getting used to that position. Yeah. Because one big mistake I hear from everybody, honestly, is that like, yeah, I like road bikes, but I don't want to be like this. It's like you don't have to, man.
You don't
Like,
have to do
that's
it,
not how they are all designed.
Yeah.
You'll get there if you continue working and getting flexible, right, and working out your core. But you don't have to be there. Like you don't have to be there.
It's true.
Yeah. I like this saddle. It reminds me of Surface
I don't even
RS.
know what kind it is.
It's a set, but I mean,
Evo?
yeah. Well, that's cool.
So-
Okie dokie, guys. Thanks for joining.
What else? What else we got?
A little longer.
Crankset?
Crankset, sick crankset. That's a Shimano 600 crankset, dude. It's a great crankset. It's just the rings on it are huge.
Yeah.
It's old school and it's biopace.
So awful.
Yeah. Is that a 5242? That's even harder. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is. If that's a standard 110 BCD, right? The bolt to bolt, right?
Yeah.
If that's a standard 110, then you can put like a 50, 36 or 34 on there, and that would make this bike very rideable for a cost of like $60-80.
Okay.
Yeah, and that would be recommended. Like that would be a good upgrade. Yeah, it wouldn't be like the most baller one, but realistically, just that would make it more rideable in a lot more situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the color. That
Just
purple's
dirty.
cool.
Yeah, I just need to clean this thing.
Yeah.
We're digging them out of the attic. Trying to
Yeah.
get 'em ready.
This bike has like a cult following though, so there might be someone who's just like, oh my god. And if you can get like $400 or whatever from this guy, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Because it might be the cool bike for someone, but for someone starting, it's kind of the wrong bike.
You ready to start? These things are old.
Yeah. 23s, but looks like there's not really room for 25s.
There isn't?
There might be, but that's tight. So there might be enough room there, but then when you're like flexing that bike around, you're gonna get rubbed.
Might get rubbed. You sure? So we're just gonna get new tires for it. Damn it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it here. Do I have 25s on anything?
Why not put it like a line? Line blowing?
Yeah, see. It's all the exact same thing, so.
Yeah. You gonna do rear?
All in front.
No.
Oh, I think you have enough room in the front. I think rear is going to be the bigger question because of the seat space. Pretty lightweight rim. If I were a little lightweight,
Who's mine or
that one.
no?
They're radial instead of cross. This is a 3 cross. That yours is a radial rim. The way they spoked it.
Yeah.
It's just less spokes.
Oh yeah.
25 in the front works.
Would you rock these tires still if you would sell them out?
Those?
Yeah, in your storage.
I like those. As far as storage, I mean, when they weren't inflated, how much cracks were there on there?
I didn't see any cracks actually.
That's all that matters. It's the cracks that kill you. Crack kills.
Remember we were looking at I was trying to bend it?
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the big thing.
They've been in the garage the entire time, so.
Once they dry rot, then they get messed up. But
Yeah.
So if you're joining, you missed kind of an assessment of front derailleurs and a bunch of information on older bikes and how the geometry has changed.
Some vintage stuff right here.
I wouldn't go as far to call it vintage. This
I
bike,
I see that
frame,
because
the frame, for sure.
I saw someone on eBay selling one and they had it labeled as vintage. I was like, God damn.
Vintage, you're like, damn, those are my best years of my life.
It's like, shit, I'm getting old.
Yeah,
Damn it.
our memories are vintage. That sucks.
How close is that shit?
Oh, that's a bit close there.
Think with the flex it'll rub?
You never know. I'd say you got enough room for 25s. My professional opinion is that, yeah, you got enough room for... Yeah.
Or I should just have him rock these tires until he wears those out, huh?
Yeah, well, hell yeah, those are fine.
Yeah.
Rock those tires until they're dead, and then go for it.
Might not be as comfy as
Oh, it's not about they might not be, because there definitely won't be. That's for darn sure. And it doesn't help that back then, like in that time, like now it's like, oh yeah, I wish I put my bike on. Oh yeah, like put it like at like, maybe like 95, 98 PSI. Back during this time, they're like, dude, 120. You want 120 PSI on there.
What do you usually run your tires at?
My tires, well, I weigh about 210.
Yeah, I'm about the same as you.
And I like a good solid 98, 100 on there.
Okay,
It's just a hair less in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what I put in.
And when I have 28s on it, I ride like a 90. Yeah. So you got a little more air volume, so it doesn't pinch as much.
Yeah.
So.
Right on. Well, it's good to know that can take.
Yeah, this can take 25s for sure on the front, and the back would look good. To be honest, I would do it. That's my girl right now, though. She's also for sale. Bikes are always for sale. There's always a new bike.
Yeah, that's a climbing piece right there. Look at that. Weird.
Oh yeah, that's a 40 in the back. That's the one thing I'd have to sell that with a big warning. A big warning.
What the? This is like. That's monstrous, dude.
Yeah, it's a 40. But it's a suicide 40. Which means if you went on your big ring and then you went on that one, you'd break your rear derailleur.
So why do you have it?
Well, because sometimes mechanics take liberties. I know I can. I know.
Are these broken?
No. That's normal.
That's normal?
Yeah, that's good. They're not broken.
Or worn?
They are worn, that's for sure.
But they're fucking. They look pretty bad. And I'm no mechanic. And they look pretty bad to me.
Yeah.
Speaking of bad, how bad do these things look worn at all?
Yeah, you need some truing done. Your rims have some slight movements there. you also run really tight, so I would say just
That's the way I like it.
yeah. That's better. Right like that instead. The idea is that you don't lock up your brakes when you're thinking about stopping.
Yeah.
I'm all about endoing everywhere. Hey, it's a long wheelbase. You want endo, right?
Kind of biking, which is my favorite. Okay, very, very easy. What kind of bike? It'd probably be, at this point, a gravel bike. I love the versatility. It's just something that you could be riding on the road with your friends, and then all of a sudden you see a dirt trail and you're like, later, and then you just go into that dirt and literally do majority of easy intermediate, albeit sometimes a little bit too crazy on like a mountain bike ride. So as long as it's not crazy rocky and bumpy, like if it's good enough for a hardtail, 9 times out of 10 you can make it work on a gravel bike. And then which bike? Well, right now I'm totally in love with an Aero road bike because I just recently rode it in New Jersey with Cannondale, and I think that's like my big crush right now. So I'll talk about that. And it's a System 6 by Cannondale, and it's everything you expect from literally the fastest bike out there right now, but with the little touch of like comfort. It's way more it's more comfortable in my opinion than my Super 6, which is like a race bike, right? And it's full carbon, and it's more comfortable than that. And I was impressed because normally when you go with an aero bike, you don't really get a very comfortable bike. You're sacrificing something for all that technology. And in this case, I think it's just they've been making aero bikes long enough that they kind of figured it out. They know how to make a bike still comfortable but stiff where you need it, and aero as heck. So yeah, that's kind of my go-to right now. Cool, guys. So this bike does need to visit a bike shop soon. Yeah, because I don't have everything I need to do the wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at a bike shop I have this $500 like truing stand that's like gonna really get it to where I need it to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, normally
How bad is the rear?
the rear is the one that I would worry about more. That's enough movement that if you start riding hard on this, you're gonna get more movement out of it.
Yeah.
The front, let's see. Oh, the front's Brad too. Actually, you can see it as one good move.
Yeah. Perfect.
So yeah, I think but overall the bike's in good shape, man.
It's because it's not used.
Well, that helps, even though it doesn't.
Look at these retro pedals, man.
Ooh, look at that, the deltas. That's not cool. I think.
Yeah, I was telling him you should just get some basic, like they got, right? Pretty
Yeah.
entry level.
Yeah, those are good. What I like about Shimano ones, overlooked ones, is that every store in the world has Shimano pedals, or cleats, I should say.
Yeah.
So you could always have that.
Shit, that's
Or
right. Like cleats.
look, sometimes it's kind of harder to find them.
Yeah.
Are they still around?
Look, yeah, dude, they're like top dog when it comes to pedals.
Really?
They're really nice.
But those aren't.
But these looks are just like 20 years old. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe 20 years ago they were.
They still make Deltas. Believe it or not, we carry the Delta pedals, but this is like first gen Delta, so it's even
Okay.
more old than
Yeah.
the ones we carry. So yeah, these are like prototype. Like Lance borrowed these for a week from my dad.
How much do these go for? Because I remember I bought these pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's like $60 for those
Right.
pedals. $60-$50 for those.
I think I got my shoes and the pedal as like a package.
Yeah, that was always
Yeah. So what's telling me you should do is.
Definitely recommend shoes.
Yeah.
Shoes and pedals, definitely. I have a very unpopular opinion when it comes to shoes, and that's that a gravel or a mountain bike shoe is better than a road shoe unless you're racing. Because the majority of people who are just doing it to chill, have fun, work out, go to the beach, like you're still gonna lycra up, right? Like,
Yeah.
Because you don't want to die of heat.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you stop, you're gonna stop and eat somewhere and chill
Walk around,
somewhere,
yeah.
walk around, and the fact that those shoes have a little bit more on there,
Yeah.
it's huge. It's a huge deal.
So do they? Well, I mean, then that means you'd have to go with a different type of pedal, then, right?
Yes,
Like
yeah,
SPD
totally.
or something.
Like an SPD, but they actually do make an SPD because they're both called SPD because those are called SPD SLs.
Okay.
But they do make an actual road pedal.
Yeah.
That's SPD compatible that looks like that pedal.
Yeah.
And it's one-sided, so it's like it doesn't look as bulky mountain bikey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I say, cool if you want that, but realistically, who cares?
Yeah.
I have a double-sided pedal on my gravel bike,
Yeah.
and I prefer it over my single-sided look. Although I never had I have look pedals, but I have keels, the newer style.
Yeah.
It's on that black bike, but I've never had a hard time. Like it wasn't the hardest thing in the world for me to clip in. You know, like everyone has their own story, obviously, but definitely for me, it wasn't that bad.
So you recommend regular mountain biking shoes?
Yeah, mountain biking shoes, but obviously more of a cross-country style.
Yeah.
Like if you go with like a gravel shoe or a cross-country style.
Do you have any here that we can see?
You know what? Actually, my friend Mark borrowed them. So no, I don't. I know I have like people borrowing my shoe. That's so weird.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. I
So
think Val borrowed my canzones.
that was years ago.
Back in the day.
That
We'll talk about that
That was years ago.
Yeah, I think that was a different time, a different person. You probably didn't recognize me anymore.
No. Yeah, because I hate walking around with my little
Yeah,
fucking
clackety,
like
yeah.
tacones and shit.
Yeah, and see that's the thing for me too. Like
That'd be nice to have just like normal kind of to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I push big on that, and I mean it's my opinion, and I think luckily like my shop's really rad with that. Like they let you speak your mind,
Yeah.
and I mean they wouldn't have hired you if you thought you were stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we literally have 4 people. Like
So I'd have to get a new pedal and new shoes if I wanted
If
to
you
go
wanted
the
to do
casual
that.
route.
Yeah.
Casual route.
and I see no reason not to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna go race and you're gonna be the crit guy,
Yeah.
then you do want to look the part, and there is something to that because at that point you're racing, and every little bit helps.
I'm not gonna race.
Yeah. I'm just doing it for
But if you're
conditioning.
not doing it for racing, then I just don't see a reason why. Like the stiffness is there if you get a cross country shoe with a carbon sole, right? At the same time, it's gonna have a little bit more to walk on.
Yeah.
Giro makes a really sick shoe that looks nice. It's called the I'm gonna forget it right now. It's black and gum. Kind of skate shoe looking in a way.
Yeah.
Like an idea of it,
Yeah.
right? And
What kind of click does it use?
it uses this whatever a two hole system.
So it's just like
Whatever it is,
small
that-
SPD.
whatever you
Dude,
do.
I actually have like 2 sets of SPD, the small mountain biking ones.
Okay.
So I should probably just throw those on.
And yeah, if you have that and just get new shoes, yeah. Yeah, I have no problem with that. If I know I took off my pedals somewhere.
Are you rocking those as well?
I'm rocking Crank Brothers, but it's the same crap. Except Crank Brothers are really good at popping out when you don't want them to and getting stuck when you want to get out, which makes them fun because now it's exciting. Here's my broken ones. Here's the ones I broke.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen these.
So
Yeah, the ones I have are like fucking like that big.
yeah, that doesn't matter, man.
Yeah.
You're not on that part.
Yeah.
Even on this one, this is all for your head. Basically, your shoe is connected here,
Yeah.
and then your cleats kind of locked into. You're not really pressing on that.
Yeah.
Not that would be all scratched up, you know.
Yeah.
So the little nicks in there come from rocks and stuff that you're breaking as you're clipping in.
Yeah.
Because you're on dirt. Yeah. Don't let this happen to your pedals. By the way, I'm sure we can see that. If your pedal can do this, you didn't do a good job greasing it. And I'm a mechanic, and that's embarrassing. But we all know mechanics are good to everyone's bikes, and sometimes not that good to their own.
Exactly.
It's true.
It's true.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Like it.
Because you end up doing favors for friends and stuff, and you work 10 hours a day on it, and you get home, you're like, I couldn't tell, bro. You're still going. I'll band-aid you
That's
if
how
I
my
need to.
computer is. I do IT. My computer, and I haven't done maintenance on that thing in forever.
Yeah, seriously, right? Cool, guys. Well, hope you guys learned something, enjoyed it. It'll be up on YouTube soon. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.